Hey, grace and peace, everybody. We're back. We're up in the building. Happy Monday morning to you all. This is an impromptu, unscheduled live stream. I promise you, I'm trying to get on a schedule. It is just very difficult because I sometimes just want to jump on when I don't plan it. I just want to do it. So anyway, I wanted to jump on this morning to first I'll make sure my lights look okay. So yesterday I'm finishing up the studio upgrade, and I'll do like a little reveal video or something like that, just kind of show you some of the things that we've improved on here. And I wanted to make sure the lights looked okay. I think they look okay. I might actually change them again this weekend. We'll see. I don't know. I just want to try. I see other people's lighting setups. I'm like, man, I like that lighting setup. I have those lights. I have that mount. Why don't we do that? So there's a possibility I might turn right back around and do it all over again. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Good to see you. I have I just have a couple things I want to talk about. I want to check these lights out, and then we can get out of here. Happy Monday to everybody up in this place. All right. I think this is good. I feel good about it. Okay. Shout out to everybody on the best live chat on the internet. Perfectly, you had a beautiful Lord's Day on yesterday. We had a great time. I always find it fun to be in church because I'm sitting next to my mom. And when I was a little boy sitting next to my mom in church, we used to sit around passing notes to each other. And I don't know why. We would pass notes to each other. So my mom is on my right-hand side passing me a note. And my chief executive second born is on my left side. What do you think she's doing? She's texting me. She's literally sitting next to me, texting me. And I just thought it was hilarious. I'm like, with one hand, I'm writing my mom a note, passing it back to her. On the other hand, and by the way, actually it was a group text. So it wasn't even just one text. It was a group text between president firstborn and chief executive second. And they added me to it. So I'm texting my daughter while she's sitting looking over my shoulder as I text her. Like, what are we doing? What is going on, Taylor? Anyway, that is it. So hopefully you all had a great Sunday as well. Got to spend time with your families, worship with your church community, and the such like that. I wanted to go over very quickly. One, see if the lights look okay. I think they look okay. I don't know, man. I see other people's setups. Like, here's all the lights on. And sometimes I just want to change them, man. I just want to change them. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if I come back again today. Well, actually, I'm going to tell you about today. Don't be surprised if I come back and end up changing them over again. Because I feel like I can utilize them better. I feel like it. And then also I feel like the second cam sometimes doesn't look the best. I feel because it's because of how the lights are impacting it. So let me show you this right here. I'll bring him in like this, Jason. All right, so I think second cam doesn't look as crisp as main cam because second cam, the lighting is weird around it. That's what I think. I mean, it could just be the second cam is just a different camera too, Jason. I mean, that is an option as well. But shout out to everybody. I just want to go over a couple quick things, give you a lay of the land as we are now beginning the month of March. Do they still say March comes in like a lamb, leaves like a lion? Do they still do that? I know we used to do that when I was a school teacher. That was a big deal. Anyway, we're gonna march into March, however we do it, right? We're gonna come in quietly, or we're gonna leave loud, or whatever. So, I'm going to a funeral this week, this Wednesday night. So I'll be out of pocket until Sunday. I think we're supposed to come back Saturday. I take that back. So it'll be Saturday night. Anyway. So today I have a wonderful guest coming on, Sarcastic Liberty over there on X. She and I are going to be looking at not Candace content, because we're going to do our best to start weaning us off of the candy content. We'll still talk about it periodically, but we're going to reduce the amount of it by significant numbers. So anyway, let me pull this in so y'all can see what I'm talking about. All right, so today, me and Sarcastic Liberty are going to be going over some Charlie Kirk debates. I was like, why don't we ever talk about Charlie's actual debates? We're debating about what Charlie said. How about we actually look at what Charlie said? Seems kind of novel idea. So today we're going to be doing at 5 o'clock. We're going to be taking some of Charlie's debates and his Q&As that he did on college campuses, and we're going to be discussing those and give us an opportunity to see what it was actually, what was the big hugabaloo about and so forth like that. So that's what we'll be doing on today. Tomorrow, I have my good friend Rick Caldwell from Caldwell Apologetics. He's going to be coming on, and we are going to be discussing this guy. His name is Jamar Tisby, and I promise you, man, the guy he makes it so easy to dislike him. Well, anyway, he is arguing for Don Lemon's protest inside of a church, and he professes to be a Christian. So oh, that is so funny because she talked about that this morning. She's like, oh, I'll get to, because she left an umbrella at her sister's house, and she was talking about that. Debbie, wow, do you have my house bugged? She literally was talking about that. Like, oh, good, I'll get to get my umbrella back because she has one she left at her sister's house. That is hilarious. Wow. But she does have her little eyeglass case one. She has that one in her purse. So this guy is actually arguing that it's the right thing to do to protest inside of churches. And he professes to be a Christian. So Rick and myself we're going to hear him out. We're going to hear the brother out. We're going to listen to what he's got to say. So that'll be tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow at 9 o'clock a.m., I'm going to be a guest on a show. I'm waiting to get the thumbnail, so I'm going to leave you in suspense. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but I know that you all will enjoy the collaboration and the tag team. So I'm going to let y'all find out as soon as I get the thumbnail. He hasn't sent me the thumbnail yet. So once he sends me the thumbnail, I'll announce it. I feel like we're good to go for sure, but that'll be tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. And if you miss it, don't worry about it. It'll be a good show. It'll be good for the repeat. It'll be good for the repeat. All right. I think that is everything that I wanted to talk about. Again, I was jumping on one to make sure the lights look good. I'm assuming my secondary concern of the mic sounding okay was good too. I didn't even have to mention it, so nobody said anything. So I think I unplugged everything, and sometimes I'm worried when you unplug it, something like these Macs, sometimes they just make some changes that you don't see coming. So I was like, hopefully nothing happened. So nobody said anything. So I'm probably good to go. I want to let y'all know that me and Sarcastic Liberty are going to be tag teaming today. Me and Rick will be tag teaming tomorrow evening. And me and I'm not going to tell you who will be tag teaming tomorrow morning. So, we'll I'll let you all know about that. What do we have here? Like church notices before service begins. We're doing the announcements. We're doing the announcements. There we go. I'm doing the church announcements. Open up your bulletin to the back page. Going through the bulletin, hey, this is what's happening on this date. This is what's happening with the young adults, the youth pizza party, all that kind of stuff like that. That's what they are. That's what we're doing. And then your boy is going to go get his emissions for my car. Because your boy's birthday coming up soon. I gotta get my 100,000 subscribers for my birthday. Come on, let's make it happen. All right. So that was the plan, Stan. And I think we are good to go. I'm going to do something I probably shouldn't do. I'm looking over here on this interweb and see if there's anything in here I need to talk about before I go. But like I said, we're not going to talk as much about Candace. That doesn't mean that we won't. It just means some of the stuff she talks about is just mentally retarded. And I think it needs to be said. So I'm not going to sit there and keep subjecting my audience to, room temperature IQ content when we can argue about some other good stuff. So shut up. Oh yeah, check her out. I think we're gonna have a good time today. I'm looking forward to having her on. I know she's been on with Gary before and such like that. So I'm looking forward to her jumping on and us having a good conversation. So I'm hoping that Okay, wait. So there is something about, hold on, let's see what Don Lemon is in trouble for. Okay, I don't even know what this is yet. Hold on. Because since we're gonna be talking about Don Lemon tomorrow, I just saw this guy. What is this? Explain America. I don't know this gentleman. Hopefully he's a good content creator. Y'all let me know. Again. What you mean? Okay, let's so people said they don't like when I have both my cameras on. So I just want to see how it looks. I think the main camera looks better. I think the side camera is because the lighting is behind my lights. I think that's what it is. I'm gonna probably move that guy around. But if it's too close, then it'll defeat the purpose of it. I'll figure it out. Anyway, let's see what this guy's talking about. Let's get rid of side cam, Jason. Let's go. Green hearts in the chat when you can hear. I want to hear what this is about.
Share and subscribe. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and Don Lemon has, in part, learned his fate. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. It's kind of two parts to this. Now, you guys remember Don Lemon is accused of being a part of a group that stormed into a Minnesota church and disrupted church services. Now, this is in direct violation of the FACE Act.
Right.
You can't disrupt religious proceedings. It's against the law. So it's in violation of that. Now, Don Lemon was arrested along with other protesters and charged.
So far, so
yesterday, a judge decided against the federal government. The federal government wanted to delay the trial a little longer because they said it's very complex. The judge disagreed. He said it's not that complex. It's pretty straightforward. And Don Lemon has a right to a speedy trial. So the judge said he would not delay the trial. I'm not a legal expert, guys. I'm not going to tell you if that's the right decision or not. I never lie to you guys. And I'm not going to pretend to be something I'm not. So many podcasters.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell y'all right now, I'm a pre-K law student, and that means I know nothing. I personally don't know why they would want it to delay it either. I think in my opinion, the quicker and more expediently you handle the case, in my opinion, it shows the strength of the case. In my mind, like the amount of evidence against Don Lemon and him literally self-snitching and on himself. I don't know what the government, what did you need to do? Don Lemon did all your homework for you. Okay, so I guess I agree with the judge. Like, let's get this thing going. And let me say it like this: the case is Don Lemon's to lose. It's the state's case to lose because Don Lemon did everything. He did everything to prove that he was a part of the protest, that he was violating the FACE Act, violating the KKK Act, all that kind of stuff like that. He did it. So if the state loses it, that's on the state. And he already did your homework for you.
News people pretend they're experts in everything.
I'm an expert.
I'm not that guy. I don't know if this is the right decision or not. I'll leave that to the experts. But what I will tell you is there's some more bad news for Don Lemon. See, the lawsuits are now starting to come in. And at least one person who was in the church has filed a lawsuit against both Don Lemon and the other protesters.
Yes, they need more of that.
For emotional distress and damages. I believe these particular cases are going to have a very good chance of being successful because, again, not a legal expert, but if you look at it, you could see on video the emotional distress, the terror that these people were feeling. We live in a society, in a world, in a time in history where your kids aren't safe in school, where people aren't safe in churches, where horrible things happen in any place where there's a public gathering. And when you think about that in its totality, you start to understand why these people, not knowing who's storming their church, would absolutely be terrified for their lives in that situation. Don Lemon brought terror on people.
That's crazy.
There's no doubt in my mind about that. And he deserves the proper legal punishment, if that is through the criminal justice system or it's through the litigation, civil litigation, or both.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the law prescribes here, he should have to face. And if he's found innocent, then he's found innocent. If he's found not responsible, he's found not responsible. You have to trust the criminal justice system and the civil justice system in this situation. Whatever I believe, and I believe he's guilty in both cases,
Facts.
doesn't really matter. What matters is what the courts and the juries decide.
Okay, I'm gonna give him that. I agree, because at the end of the day, it's really not my opinion. It's not his opinion. It's not ours. It's what the law actually says and what the prosecutors can prove. I totally agree. I do think we need to be mindful, though. Like, Don Lemon should not be, in my opinion, Don Lemon should not have been able to get out and get free duck and cover, where his co-defendants are on probation. They can't leave the state, this, that, and the other. Like, Don Lemon should not have gotten any more special treatment than they did, or they should have gotten the same treatment that Don Lemon did. And I'm gonna pull up a video. It shows like Don Lemon was deeply entrenched in this. This is not like, there's a timeline that goes over like what was happening 2 and 3 days beforehand. Don Lemon was not obscure from this. He was brought into this very early in the planning stages of this. So the idea that, well, Don Lemon was just a journalist, they make it sound like Don Lemon was just walking down the street with his camera and his microphone and said, oh, look, there's a protest at that church. Let's go and see what's going on. That's not the case. Don Lemon was well aware of it, well ahead of time. Now, of course, he's not the one that started the protest and such of the nature, but he was involved in it nonetheless. He didn't build the foundation, but he got in on the first floor. Like, come on, my guy. Like, we don't need to pretend like this is not what actually happened. All right, let's get done. Shout out.
You to watch this and let me know what you think in the comments.
Pushed by the Trump administration to punish Abrego Garcia after he was brought back to the U.S. last year. Well, the judge has not yet issued a ruling. Abrego Garcia's mistaken deportation last March, of course, made international headlines, as you may remember. Well, a congregant of the city's church in St. Paul, Minnesota, is now suing the protesters who disrupted services last month with an anti-ICE demonstration. And Doucette, in a filing in federal court, says the 8 protesters, including journalists Don Lemon and Georgia Fort, who were covering the demonstration, interfered with her right to worship and have caused emotional distress and trauma. On January 18th, several protesters came into the city's church and chanted anti-ICE slogans. All 8 have pleaded not guilty in criminal court to charges of violating the FACE Act. At least 10 FBI employees linked to former special counsel Jack Smith's classified documents investigation into President Trump.
Okay, I don't think that's germane to what we were talking about. So, yeah, what do y'all think? I think Don Lemon and his co-defendants violated the FACE Act. And again, if you, and you know I'm right, because if he switched this around, if it was a group of white people directly coming into a Southern Baptist black church, y'all would have different feelings. And I'm sorry, it would have already been dealt with differently. Let me say it like that. It would have been a hate crime. It would have been jaywalking. It would have been failure to parade permits. It would have been everything. They would have thrown everything at them. But because it's liberals protesting ICE in what it looked like a mixed congregation, but I'll say a white church. Because of that, oh, no, it's okay. Watch this. If it had been a whole bunch of Trump supporters going in there with brooms, sweeping all them people out of Times Square, banging their head on the floor 5 times, guess what? Then they would have been upset about it. It would have been anti this. It would have been phobic this, that, and the other. So do the same thing. Get the same energy against Don Lemon and his crew that you would give against me if I came in there sweeping and running a old fire hose to sweep out Times Square when these people banging their head on the ground 5 times. That's all I'm saying. And I think most people want the law applied the same way to everybody, which is, I think, is the problem. So we're gonna bring over our buddy Robert Esquire. He talked about this yesterday, and he went down the timeline. I believe he did. Double check. He did go. He went over the timeline yesterday, and to me, it's a slam dunk that Don Lemon violated the FACE Act. He was not just a journalist. He was a participant in the protest. That's all it is. There's no other way around it. And so therefore, if I would get dinged if I had gone through Times Square, sweeping out all these people banging their heads on the ground, well, then Don Lemon has to be treated the exact same way. I'm sorry. If y'all would have been upset about a whole bunch of white people running up into a black Baptist church in Alabama doing the exact same thing, then you have to treat Don Lemon the same way. We just want the law applied the same way. That's it. And now if y'all gonna use the hate crime and KKK Act and FACE Act, guess what? You have to apply it here. You have to. There's no way around it. So shout out to Robert Esquire. I thought he did a great job of breaking down the timeline. So I don't want to catch him in that face like that, but shout out to him. Green hearts in the chat when y'all can hear.
All arrested, hopefully by now, indicted and charged. Kelly was screaming, this was the demonic person, saying, "This ain't God's house. This is the house of the devil." He said to one female woman congregant who was with 2 young children, "Why are you not involved in this?" Screaming Nazi in people's faces. "Do you know your parents are Nazis? They're going to burn in hell," said this guy. He expressed surprise that the police had not even come. More arrests happening. 30 more church attackers now arrested and indicted. Pam Bondi and Kash Patel celebrating, saying, "Today, we just unsealed an indictment, now charging 30 more people who took part with Dans les Mains in the city's church attack in Minnesota, causing mayhem and broken bones." At my direction, today, federal agents have already arrested 25 of them, with more to come throughout the day. Pam says, "You cannot attack a house of worship, capital. If you do, you cannot hide from us. We will find you, we will arrest you, and we will prosecute you." The Department of Justice stands for Christians and all Americans of faith, and we are happy about this development. Every one of them should be arrested, tracked down if necessary, and face justice. Kash also confirming, today, 30 more individuals have been indicted under the FACE Act in connection to the January 18th targeting of City's church in Minnesota. It's the new J18. As of this morning, the FBI executed a joint operation with Homeland Security and our partners, arresting over 20 of these people, with additional arrests to come. This makes 39 indictments in the city's church case total so far, including the arrest of Dans les Mains, who now is also being civilly sued, and multiple alleged leaders of the riot last month.
I have to admit, when I first was watching this, I'm like, who's Don Lemon? What is he talking about? I'm sorry. He's saying Don Lemon, but he's saying it like that. I did not know. I was like, what is he talking about? Who is this Don Lemon? What are you talking about? I feel so bad.
Kash says, "Let it be known, this FBI will never tolerate anyone who targets, intimidates, or attacks Americans peacefully exercising their right to worship freely." Thank you to Pam Bondi and the DOJ for your relentless pursuit of this case. And of course, we know Don Lemon is this guy right here, seen in the church, also charged and now being civilly sued. You see this report from the New York Post saying, now one of the parishioners is suing him, slapping this lefty activist with the civil lawsuit. Lemon, of course, 59, already arrested on this. He joined a dozen BLMers and other activists saying, "I'm a journalist. I can go do whatever I want. First Amendment can trample your First Amendment." In the suit, the woman's name is called Ann Doucette. She says the protesters storming of the parish, which happened on a Sunday service packed with families, left her with severe emotional distress, fear, anxiety, and trauma. They were there saying, "Hands up, don't shoot. You didn't know if you were going to get blasted." Other attacks have happened on places of worship, including Christian churches, and that rowdy agitators deprived her of her right to practice her faith freely. 100%. The suit was obtained.
I'm sorry. This, and hear me. There might be some laws that need to get put away, or some laws that are redundant, and so on and so forth. I don't know if I agree with the FACE Act and how it was brought about, but it's here. It's a law now, and it applies to this situation. And guess what? If you don't like it, then maybe you need to deal with the FACE Act. Maybe we don't need to say that people praying outside of abortion clinics or providing assistance to young mothers in crisis that maybe don't want to go and delete their babies. Maybe we don't need to make that a phony law. But now, don't be mad that we're applying your phony law against you. No. You don't get to do that. No, ma'am, no, sir. You don't get to do that. This is it. So just like hate crime laws, I think some of those hate crime laws need to be reevaluated. I don't think they're real. So but don't be mad when I use it against you. That's the only thing. So I think we need to reevaluate that, hands down. Let's keep it going. All right, shout out to Robert Esquire. By the way, if y'all don't mind, if y'all like this, please make sure you hit the like button, hype the video, all that kind of good jazz.
By TMZ, also named some of Don Lemon's fellow protesters. The ousted reporter, they say, linked up, and he helped provide logistics and local contacts. And we've explained it, that there were one part of a whole. Don Lemon needed the agitators. Nekima needed the media. So they were working in conjunction without each other.
That's a great point. Like, Don Lemon needed the agitators because that's content. The agitators needed Don Lemon because that's broadcasting and sharing it out. I don't think many people would have known had Don Lemon not filmed it. If Don Lemon hadn't filmed it, I'm sure people would still know, but it wouldn't be this big a deal if Don Lemon hadn't done it. So they did. Like, they are symbiotic. So therein is the problem. Like, this is something being done in 4K that we need to look at. Let's talk about it. Let's go.
This is less effective. And so together they have their strengths of insurrection combined. Chantel Louisa Allen, William Scott Kelly, all these people were already originally indicted. These were the first three. This was the double handcuff woman, and this was the demonic voice figure. Then Don Lemon came afterwards. That's the big one.
The double handcuff woman. Yo, y'all put Robert in the chat. Robert is a nut. He called her out because she had a big back and they couldn't get the handcuffs around her. So they had to double handcuff her. That is wild. That is wild work. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, Don Lemon knew that what he was doing was wrong. He knew it. Y'all put Robert in the chat. Robert, I'm going to put you in 0-second timeout, my guy. That is hilarious. He keeps referring to that woman as the double handcuff woman. Like, man, you out of control, man. Shout out to him for sure.
One right there. And we got the full list. Jerome Richardson, Jamal Lundy, Traheen Cruz, Georgia Fort, Ian Austin, Aziza Aboud, Max Adamson, indicted. Michael Butte, Ezra Blumenfeld. We got Shane Bowman, Kelly Carey, Monique Quellers-Doty, Tiffany Dunlap, Andrew Edwards, Rachel Goglioski, Amelia Hanza, Ariel Hopman, Krista Hogan, Heather Lewis, Daniela Mathias, Katie Michelson, Eric Michelson, husband and wife little duo there, David Okar, Jarmel Perry. It just keeps going. And this is enjoyable because they're all arrested and indicted now. Cheryl Pergashel, Emar Moreno, Spencer Bocanegra. We've got Catherine Shaw. We got Satara Allen, Charles Swenson, and Robin Swenson, another little happy couple there. Thomas Tier. We got Lee Tuggle, John Virgin, like and Mark David Winefarter right there. Great. Mark David Winefarter. All arrested, hopefully, by now, indicted and charged. Beginning on this date, all of the defendants named here were engaged in this conspiracy. Here's how they did it. They organized Armstrong, Allen, Strong, and Doty, along with other persons. They organized the entire operation. They called it Operation Pull Up. They did it on Instagram and Facebook. And I wonder if Instagram or Facebook banned them. But you know who they did ban is our friend, the Lectern leader, who got his Facebook account banned. He's running for office. Thank you for supporting him too. But I wonder if they banned these people after their attack on a Christian church, or do they just cancel Adam? Now, defendants here met at a shopping center for a pre-operation briefing. All of these insurgents were working together, including Winefarter, and they were there to plan their attack on the church. And then each of them committed overt acts in furtherance of the crimes. Here's overt act number one. On January 17th, before J18th, the day that shall live in infamy, Armstrong got text messages from a local news correspondent in Minnesota who said, an ICE officer is a pastor at the church. Armstrong, Nekima, she said, this is outrageous. How could he be a preacher and a Christian if he works for ICE? Then overt act number two.
That's so wild. Like, I guarantee you, Nekima Armstrong would not say, how can somebody be a Christian and be a police officer? How can somebody be a Christian and be a lawyer? How can somebody be a Christian and be a politician? I bet you she probably would argue, how can somebody be a Christian and abort their child? Like, she probably would she would not argue against those things. But because somebody works for ICE Immigration, customs enforcement. They can't be a Christian. See, this is the part of the story where it gets kind of stupid because people have now created a new religion. They've just created new standards for somebody to be a Christian, which is wild work. That's some crazy work. Christ could have redeemed you from your sin, but because you work in law enforcement, you can't be a Christian. You can't be saved because you work for ICE. Who said that? Where'd that standard come from? That's some crazy work, y'all. That's that part that just makes it. That's what I'm talking about. That's the dumb part that needs to be called out, laughed, and mocked as much as we can.
Armstrong used her cell phone. She did a number of internet searches. They have her cell phone. She really wanted that back, and there was a battle over that. The ICE officer named by the local news searched Midway Club, the meeting location, and they started the plot. Then on January 17th, Allen and Strong, they conducted a reconnaissance. They drove by the church in preparation for their attack. They made a video documenting their operation, including the location of parking areas where they could all pull up and raid the building. She noted
another thing, and again, I'm not a legal expert at all. I've just watched a lot of lawsuits. A lot of the time, if there's a conspiracy, if there's 5 or 6 people that are integral, that are being seen as like the main co-conspirators of this event, if one person does something or 2 people do something like run reconnaissance and they go by and drive by the church and check to see where the parking lot is, all 5 will be considered having done that because they were working together in concert. If one person is sending out text messages, letting everybody know the time and the location, all 5 are considered with that because they're co-conspirators. They're tying them all together. So if I do one thing, everybody did that one thing. If Jim Bob did one thing, everybody did that one thing. And so that's something to consider. I don't know exactly how they'll play it out, but that's what ends up happening when you so don't be surprised when you see people are getting hit with multiple charges and they didn't necessarily do it. That's why they're showing these overt acts.
In the video, my thoughts are to be able to clog up this whole alleyway right here so no one can leave. So somebody's a graphic artist and put together Operation Pull Up and said, be ready to mobilize. And she posted the flyer on 2 Instagram accounts at Nekima and Racial Justice MN, explaining on January 17th, they posted similar flyers. Chantel posted that. Then Doty posted it on her Facebook. Then Edwards shared that flyer on his Facebook. Oh, they're all busted through Facebook. Ocard posted it. Perry posted it on Facebook. Then Armstrong and Don Lemon were texting each other. On the morning of January 18th.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna back that up a second because this text message happened on the 17th. Oh, let me catch.
Then Armstrong and Don Lemon were texting each other. On the morning of January.
So they're texting each other on the 17th. If this is true, they were texting each other on the 17th. So he didn't just roll up and say, oh my gosh, there's a protest. I have my camera in my bag. Let's go and see what's going on. No, he knew about it beforehand. He's in trouble, man. He should be in trouble.
January 18th, all these defendants listed in this section here gathered together for a pre-operation briefing. At the briefing, Armstrong and Allen advised the co-conspirators about their target. They said, we're going into a church. They said, a church? Perfect. We hate Christians. Then that morning, Lemon began live streaming. He has the Don Lemon Show, where he explained to his audience that he was in Minnesota with an...
So why did he start live streaming it? Because he already knew ahead of time.
Organization that was gearing up for a resistance operation. He took steps to maintain operational secrecy. He reminded certain co-conspirators, don't disclose the target of the operation. Don't tell them where we're going, otherwise they can plan. Then he stepped away momentarily so his microphone would not accidentally divulge the meeting. During a discussion with the defendant Armstrong, Lemon thanked Armstrong. Lemon said, "Hi, I really appreciate what you're doing. And I assure you, I'm not saying anything about what's going on. I'm not disclosing the target of the operation," because he's a co-conspirator in the operation. Armstrong also then explained that Operation Pull Up was clandestine and that she and other agitators would show up somewhere that is a key location where the targets don't expect us, and we disrupt business as usual. That's what we're about to go do right now. And Lemon said, I know, we'll see you there. Now, before going to the church to join his co-conspirators, Lemon advised his live stream audience. He said, we're going to head to the operation. This is Don Lemon. Again, we're not going to give any of the information away. because then it might show off where we're going and I'm part of this conspiracy. So I have to keep it under wraps or else you'll know about the conspiracy. Now, also,
I don't know. Again, I don't know what Don Lemon self-snitched on himself. This this ain't got nothing to do with Trump, nothing to do with ICE. Sir, you self-snitched on yourself. All right, let's let it go.
at the pre-briefing, Allen, the defendant, led another co-conspirator in Chance there. She said, "This is what community looks like, and ICE out of Minnesota." Continuing on the morning of J18, defendants then went to the church. While en route to the church, Richardson told Lemon, "Hey, we got to catch up to the others." Lemon says, "Let's go, catch up, go." And because he was still live streaming, he instructed Richardson and Butte, "Don't give anything away. Don't divulge where we're going. We can't say too much. We don't want to give it up." While in his vehicle, Lemon also mentioned to Richardson and Butte, "I don't think we can go ahead. I don't think we can go inside, right?" And then he answered his own question. He said, no. I guess no, like we can't go, or no, maybe we can go. Like I don't think we can go inside, right? If you're answering that affirmatively, you might say, yes, we can't go in there. But then he says, no. But then they entered the church. Shortly thereafter, they joined the other co-conspirators. So almost like maybe saying, no, we can go in, answering the question in the negative, like, no, we can go in. Continuing on the morning.
Ha ha ha. I want to see if you all were paying attention. There we go. Thank you all. Gold star for you all. No, I want to see how Don Lemon tries to maneuver and get past this, because it's clear that he wasn't like an entrenched journalist. He was a part of the planning of this event. And when those text messages come out from the 17th that he knew ahead of time what they were going to do, and they knew they were going to terrorize the Sunday school class, and they knew they were going to disrupt the worship service, how does he fix that? And all you got to do is say, okay, if it wasn't Don Lemon, but it was Jethro Redneck, and they were trying to go to 123 Black Church and want to do this, would they have some kind of problem with that? If they would, then Don Lemon is cooked. He's cooked. Okay, let's go.
Morning of J18, all the defendants entered the church. First wave positioning themselves among the congregants. Second wave led by Armstrong and Allen commencing the disruptive takeover. After the first wave of agitators, then were activated and joined. Now, as the pastor was beginning his sermon, Armstrong, Nekima, interrupted the service. Loud declaration saying, "This church is harboring the director of ICE," and indicating that the time for judgment had come. "You're all going to go to hell." And other defendants immediately joined in by yelling and blowing whistles in a takeover on the church, all of which quickly caused the church to become chaotic, menacing, and traumatizing. Kelly did the same. Kelly was screaming, this was the demonic person, saying, "This ain't God's house. This is the house of the devil." He said to one female woman congregant who was with two young children, "Why are you not involved in this?" Screaming Nazi in people's faces. "Do you know your parents are Nazis? They're going to burn in hell," said this guy. While inside the church, another defendant.
Just think about that. Just think about that. Some guy coming in, looking crazy, yelling, screaming, all that kind of stuff, telling a child that their parents are Yahtzees and that they're going to burn in hell because the pastor is his day job is he works for ICE. Okay. Like, I don't understand. This is crazy, man. This is some crazy work right here. Let's go.
Personally participated in this, shouting. Don Lemon was there. He told his live stream audience about the congregants. He said, "Well, there was a young man who Lemon could see, he said, was frightened and scared." Oh, there's a young man who's scared and frightened and crying. And Lemon said, "Well, that's understandable, because this was traumatic and uncomfortable." That's our point. As the operation continued,
Wow.
Defendant Lemon tacitly acknowledged that the illegal nature of this. He expressed surprise that the police had not even come. He said the whole point of this operation is to disrupt. Where are the cops? Cops don't care. They're out too busy worrying about the Somalians. While the takeover operation was underway, Lemon asked Nekima, the leader, "Who is the person that we should talk to? Is there a pastor or something?" And she pointed toward the front and said, well, he might have run away. Other conspirators were standing nearby. Lemon, Richardson, Fort, and Butte. They approached the pastor, surrounded him to his front and sides, stood in close proximity to the pastor in an attempt to oppress and intimidate him, physically obstructed his movement, Lemon peppering him with questions. While talking to the pastor, Lemon also stood so close to the pastor that Lemon caused the pastor's right hand to graze Lemon, who then screamed at him, "Please don't push me as I'm attacking you and your church. We will deport every single illegal alien in this country." Our message, which I hope they do, our message to those in this country illegally: leave now, self-deport using the app. By using the app, you may be able to come back legally. If you don't, you're going to face the consequences, and we're coming for you. Here's Christy with Patrick.
A bit has come down, and the president even said, moving forward, if states and cities don't ask us to come in, we're not going to come in. But then isn't that, because some of the folks that voted for it are saying, wait a minute, are you guys not keeping a promise? How do you balance those two?
He wants to be asked to come in and to surge operations in those cities. He wants to, if a mayor or a governor recognizes that they have an out of control criminal element in their city, if they have people that are coming in and perpetuating fraud like we've seen in Minneapolis, that when we come in, to have that cooperation of local law enforcement is incredibly important. But the president's been very clear too. We're going to enforce the law. So yes, we're going to prioritize criminals, those murderers and those rapists, individuals out there trafficking our children and proliferating drug abuse and selling drugs. We're going to prioritize them, but nobody is off the table. We're going to, if you're here illegally, you may be detained if you're in one of those situations where you're with those criminals and removed from this country. Clearly, Patrick, millions of people have gone home on their own. They've seen what we're doing on our streets. They've seen us go out there and be strong in enforcing our laws. And they decided, you know what, maybe now is a good time for me to go back to, Panama or go back to Ecuador.
Good idea.
Or situations have changed in their country. So what we do is we buy them a plane ticket. We give them $2,600 when they land in their country and give them some money to start going on. And many of the times I've gone to dozens of these countries and negotiated repatriation programs in their country. So in some of these countries, they've set up housing for these individuals. When they leave the United States and go home, they'll help them with housing. They'll get them trained to fill a job that they need in that country. They'll educate the children. I think Guatemala put forward a scholarship so that the kids there now can get an education when they return back home. And making those connections is something that I don't think any administration has ever facilitated before. President Trump's put a lot of work into making sure that we're encouraging people to go back home. And when they get there, that they'll recognize that their home country is the best place to be.
Yes.
And we also are very clear. If you wait until we detain you and remove you from this country, you will never get the chance to come back to the United States. You won't get to be in a work program. You won't have the opportunity to come back with a green card or to be a citizen. You have shown that you will break our laws and not follow protocols, and that there will be consequences for it.
How beautiful of a concept. You get care in your own country. Your own country supports you and pays for you, not supports the rest of the planet as the breadbasket of the world. So they can go home and work to improve their own governance, right? Self-governance, and they can learn democratic values, and they can run their pupusa businesses, and they can do all those things back home. And if they need support, their own people can take care of them. We don't need to continue to pay and get ripped off to the tune of trillions of dollars over my lifetime by foreign invaders. So more arrests happening. Don Lemon now being sued. 30 additional people now charged. The number is up to 39. Hopefully that's all of them. But if there is that one guy out there, we're going to make sure he's arrested too.
Shout out to Robert Esquire. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. That was interesting. Okay, so what do y'all think? You think Don Lemon has a chance? I don't know. Well, tomorrow, me and Rick from Caldwell Apologetics will be looking at a pastor, alleged pastor, who totally believes that Don Lemon was in the right, totally believes that we should go to churches and protest and do all that kind of stuff like that. I want to hear what y'all think about it. So we will be having that discussion on tomorrow, Rick and I. This evening, I will have my good friend, my new friend from Sarcastic Liberty will be on. She and I are going to be starting a new series where we're going to be looking at actually Charlie Kirk's debates and his Q&As and his lectures. We're going to be looking at those. We're going to be doing some reactions to those. And I'm looking forward to that. And then tomorrow at 9 o'clock, let me check real quick. Did I get my thumbnail? I've not got my thumbnail yet. As soon as I get my thumbnail, I will announce whose channel I'll be on tomorrow. But I gotta wait to get my thumbnail. I got the date, I got the link, but I always I use a thumbnail to say, oh, now we're legitimate. So as soon as I have that, you'll know. But I guarantee you'll want to tap in tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I want y'all to know that. I think that's all I had. Thank y'all so much. I think the lights are okay. I've concluded that I'm going to move the desk back some because we upgraded to one of those sit-stand desks, and I think it's too far away from the wall. I still got a little bit of cable management to work on, but I think for tonight, I'm going to push it back against the wall more and see if that gives me a little bit more space and then allows me to fix the other standalone camera. So that's it. I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. Thank y'all so much. So yeah, I'm hoping that y'all will enjoy it. I believe you'll have a good time tonight. Like I said, tomorrow at 9, I got Rick coming on at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. We should have a good conversation talking about this pastor that believes that the Don Lemon was legit. And who knows, by then, if there's anything new that comes up, it's always Eastern Standard Time. So today we'll Sarcastic Liberty and I will be on at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It should be up. And I think YouTube does that. And I could be wrong. I think YouTube actually, wherever you are, it gives it to you in your time zone. So if I let me show you. All right. So get rid of that. Hey, I know that guy. Okay. So on mine, because I'm here in Eastern time zone, it says 5 o'clock p.m. and it's assuming it's my time zone. Same thing tomorrow at 7 o'clock, my time zone. But if you're not, it'll show up accordingly in your time zone. Wait, what did I say about the pastor? Allegedly. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I thought so. Okay, so to give it to you in your time zone. So if you go over to my channel right now, I'll drop the link in the chat. It should show your time zone. Because I think Sarcastic Liberty, if I'm not mistaken, is an hour behind me. I think. I might be wrong. But yeah, so that's that. All right, good people. Thank you so much. Good to see you, Q. Always good to see you, friend. Everybody, I want y'all to have a fantastic rest of your day. I just want to get on here and try that out, test some things out. So I'm going to make some changes, and then I'm going to go get my emissions for my car. So everybody have a great day. I'll see y'all tonight, this evening rather, later this afternoon, whatever you want to call it, early evening, 5 o'clock with Sarcastic Liberty. Everybody have a great day. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Witt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.